don't want her calling me after she gets her child support, telling me, well, can you send me more money? Because I'm not gonna, whatever she gets off me a month, that's all she's gonna get. I've always been there for my son since day one. I've never left my son without anything. I've been a good provider. I'm a good dad. But she's telling me, oh, no child support. She's telling you I want child support. So, I mean, I'm just kind of confused, you know?
We do have one agreement.
Okay.
One that agreement being for the parties to be appointed, or for the court to appoint Ms. Hinahosa as managing conservator of the child, and to appoint Mr. Kristen as possessory conservator of the child, with Ms. Hinahosa, managing conservator, having the exclusive right to designate the child's primary residence without geographic restriction, on account of the parties already residing in well over 100 miles apart. So that is the only agreement at this time, and therefore the state would ask to proceed with a contested hearing on temporary orders reserving the issues of retroactive child support, medical support, and court costs for final.
Is there any way to summarize the disagreements, or is that not possible?
No, yes, Judge. Mr. Kristen is requesting a standard possession and access order for conservators residing over 100 miles apart. Ms. Hinahosa is opposed to that, does not believe that is in the child's best interest, and is asking for some form of supervised periods of possession and access. Additionally, Ms. Hinahosa is in agreement with the guideline calculations for child support. Mr. Kristen is not.
Okay, you can proceed. Thank you.
All right. The state would first call Ms. Hinahosa. Ms. Hinahosa, do you believe it's in Braden's best interest for him to spend one weekend a month with Mr. Kristen from 6 p.m. on Friday to 6 p.m. on Sunday?
No.
Okay. Why not?
I just have my worries because of his kid, his daughter, and I don't want my son around that. Around Derek, I don't mind, but with her around, no.
Is this Braden's half sister?
It's his sister.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
Ma'am, I can't hear you very well. Can you get closer to your device? Because I didn't hear the last part you said. And I think I missed a few other things you've said, to be honest. Can you repeat your answer?
I said no.
Okay, so it's not his sister?
No, it is his sister. It's his sister from his side, not for me.
Okay. You can proceed, Ms. Oskowski. Thank you. I can hear you a little better.
Yes. Why, Ms. Hinahosa, why does it worry you for Braden to be around this half sister?
Just because she's so disrespectful, and if I'm not around and I can't see how she's being with him, I mean, of course I'm gonna be worried.
What's her name?
Madeline.
And how old is she?
She's 13.
Okay. And do you have any, and how old is Braden?
He's 6.
Okay. Do you have any examples of the worrisome behavior that you've witnessed?
Yes.
By the court? Okay.
She's lived here with me before, and I've worked nights, and she's left him here by himself. Like at midnight, she would sneak out and leave my son here. And then she just talks really disrespectful to him, and he tells me everything.
Have you witnessed any of this behavior yourself?
Yes.
Okay. And what did she say?
She would just,
I have a question before we get too deep. So if the daughter snuck out, and so if the daughter lived with you in the past, she was younger than 13. So you left the 12, 11, 10-year-old alone with your young child, and there was no one else in the house?
This was just recently, just like last year.
So a 12-year-old was alone in the house with your son Braden, who's how old?
He's 6 and I have a 10-year-old that's here.
So there was a 6, a 10, and a 12-year-old alone in the house. You were out doing something at midnight.
No, I work nights.
Okay, so you were out working at night,
Yeah.
and the 13-year-old snuck out and left the 2 kids alone.
Yes.
Is that what you're saying? Okay. Okay. You may continue, Ms. Laskowski.
Ms. Hinahosa, why do you think Mr. Kristen's periods of possession and access should be supervised?
I just don't trust his daughter around my son. I mean, she's jealous of him. Always been, has always been, and he knows that because I've told him that.
Has she ever physically harmed Braden in any way?
No, because I would not let it get that far. I wouldn't let it get that far.
Did it get close to physical? Can you better explain the concerns, ma'am?
Well, she's very jealous of him. She's always been jealous of him. And we were having a conversation the other day on the phone and she tried to jump in, try to say stuff. And I'm just the type, I'm going to say something. I'm going to say something. I'm not going to shut my mouth. I'm going to say what's on my mind. And I just kind of feel like she doesn't want Derek to be a father to her own brother. It's always been like that. It's always been about her. It's like she's never wanted him to be a part of Braden. And I've told him that too. I just like she's upset and jealous that Braden's even here. And I feel like if Braden was there, she would just be upset and mad and probably, I don't know what she would do. I just don't trust her around him. And I have my reasons.
Can you explain the good reasons to the judge, please? Because I'm not understanding.
Just the whole jealousy thing. What if I'm not there and she does something to him? I don't know if Derek's gonna defend my son because he don't even discipline his daughter. So it's like, what if he goes and spends a weekend with Braden, with Derek, and something happens, and my son comes back and tells me he already knows how I am. I mean, obviously she's told him stuff that wasn't true here, and I mean, who's to say she's gonna go make stuff up about my son?
Ms. Laskowski, you may continue with your case.
Okay. Ms. Hinahosa, does Mr. Kristen provide you any support for Braden on a regular basis?
Yeah, every 2 weeks,
And what does he provide every 2 weeks?
300.
$300,
Just
cents?
$300.
Okay. You said that's every 2 weeks?
Mm-hmm.
And over and above that $300 biweekly, are there any expenses for Braden that Mr. Kristen regularly helps out with?
If I need something, if Braden needs something and I ask him, if he has it, he'll send it. But if not, then no.
Okay. Does Mr. Kristen pay for any of Braden's extracurriculars?
No.
Does he pay for any of Braden's daycare costs?
He don't go to daycare.
Okay. How often does Mr. Kristen see Braden?
He hasn't seen him since we moved over here.
Okay. And when was that?
March of 2024.
Okay. So March of 2024. We're
Yes.
now in January of 2025. So that's 10 months. In those 10 months, has Mr. Kristen made any efforts to see Braden?
over FaceTime.
Okay. Any efforts to physically see Braden, or I mean, in person?
No, he was gonna see him for Christmas, but I don't even remember what happened. I think it was the weather or something.
What kind of possession and access do you think Mr. Kristen should have?
I mean, he can see him if he wants to. If he wants to see him, he can come see him. I'm not saying he can't see him, but
Okay.
he'd have to come see him.
Under what circumstances do you think Mr. Kristen should be allowed to see Braden?
Mm. Like day visits.
Okay. What location should Mr. Kristen be allowed to see Braden at?
I mean, he can come here and I can go there. He can make one trip here and I can make one trip there. It's not, I mean, I don't have a problem doing that.
How long do you think these visits should last?
I mean, it can last the whole day. And if I feel like I can fully trust that he could do something about his daughter, then I don't care that Braden's with him overnight. He knows that. We've talked about that.
Do you believe Mr. Kristen's periods of possession and access should be supervised in any way?
Not if the child's around, no.
Okay. How is Braden currently insured?
He has Medicaid.
Okay. Does Braden have any other source of insurance coverage?
Just the Medicaid and what Derek provided.
Okay. Do you have private health insurance available to put Braden on?
I don't.
Okay. And
I mean, I can add him to my job insurance.
okay, do you know how much that would cost?
I don't know how much it would cost. I would have to like look it up because there's different insurances that we have.
Is there any family violence between you and Mr. Kristen?
No,
Okay. Does Mr. Kristen know where you live now?
he knows, but he's never been here. Yeah.
If you were to move from your current address, do you have safety concerns being required to tell Mr. Kristen where you moved to?
No.
Okay. Is there any third party that you have a safety concern with having your contact information from today's court order?
No.
Okay, so today's court order will be a public record.
Oh, well, my first, remember, I don't want him having anything.
Okay, I don't understand that. Can you delve into that further, Ms. Laskowski?
Yes, Judge. All right. So you've testified that you don't have a safety concern with
Not with
Mr.
Derek. No.
Right. Do you have a safety concern with a third party not involved in this
Oh,
lawsuit
yes.
court
Yes,
right
I
now,
do. I do.
having your contact information?
Yes,
Okay.
I do.
Are you asking the court to keep your contact information out of the court order so that
Yes.
that party can't get your information?
Yes,
All right.
ma'am.
Is that issue in dispute, Ms. Laskowski? Because if it's not in dispute, I don't really need any more evidence, but if it is in dispute, I probably do.
Okay.
And so I don't know if I need more or not on that.
I'm gonna say that's not in since she's testified that it's not with Mr. Kristen.
Okay, if it turns out it is in dispute, we can have more testimony.
Yeah, I would recall or
Okay.
ask to, so yes. So Ms. Hinahosa, we talked about the guideline child support based on Mr. Kristen's current gross monthly income. Do you believe those guidelines are reasonable?
Mm,
Are you asking the court to order Mr. Kristen to pay current child support of $1,045 monthly beginning February 1st, 2025?
Yes.
Pass the witness, Judge.
Okay, you may call your next witness.
The state would call Mr. Kristen. Mr. Kristen, are you currently employed?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And how much do you earn?
Monthly,
Are you paid hourly, salaried?
hourly,
Okay. How much do you make per hour?
$22.50.
Okay. How many hours a week do you work?
Bi-weekly, 107.
I'm sorry, did you say bi-weekly 107?
107 hours bi-weekly.
Okay.
Is that every week? Or is that every pay period?
No, I get paid every 2 weeks.
Right, that's a pay period.
Yeah, every 2 weeks.
So you work every single pay period, you work only 107 hours?
Well, I get a small check, big check. So I'll get a big check, 107. Small checks, 107 hours, and a big check is like 167 hours.
Is that 167 hours?
Yes.
Okay.
Sir, are you paid time and a half for your hours over 40 hours a week?
Yep. In the oil field, of course, time and a half after my
Um, Besides Braden, do you have any other minor children under the age of 18 and not graduated high school?
So I have 3 more.
Okay. How many of those 3 children live with you?
2.
Okay. And that third child of yours that does not live with you, do you have a court order to pay support for that child?
No, I don't.
Do you have private health insurance available through your employer to put Braden on?
Yes, ma'am. He's been on my insurance for the past 6, 7 months.
Okay.
Well,
And do you have private dental insurance to put Braden on?
that's what I was going to tell you. He's on vision, dental, health, and he's on my life insurance.
Okay. And do you know how much comes out of each paycheck for the health insurance premiums?
That I couldn't tell you. I know whenever the company provided, when our company got bought out, so the other company I was working for, they got bought out by another company, and the company that bought the company out now, they provide the insurance, so they don't take nothing out. They tax it, of course, but they provide it. You know what I mean? I don't know if that makes sense or not.
Okay, so do they provide it for the employee only or for the dependents as well?
No, dependents.
Do you believe the guideline child support of $1,045 monthly beginning February 1st, 2025 is reasonable?
I don't agree to it
Why not?
because I mean I have other kids as well. I'm a single, just like she's a single parent raising 2. I'm a single parent raising 2. The mom's no longer in the picture. It's me and my parents. We've been raising my kids since they've been babies. And I feel like, I mean, I know it's kind of selfish to say this, but I feel like she's taken from my other kids too. I do have other kids I got to support. I have bills just like her too. Like, it's not, we've been doing fine with me giving her 300 biweekly. We already talked about it. We came to an agreement to where we're just going to keep it without child support, and now she wants to put me on child support, which I don't understand. So, I mean, if it's going to be the 1,000, that's what she wants. Hey, I'll do it. But I don't want her calling me after she gets her child support, telling me, "Well, can you send me more money? Because I'm not gonna, whatever she gets off me a month, that's all she's gonna get." I've always been there for my son since day one, I've never left my son without anything. I've been a good provider. I'm a good dad. I come out here and work my back off for my kids at home. And then I just feel like I don't know. She just needs to make up her mind on what she wants. If she wants the child support, fine. We can do the child support. But she's telling me, oh, no child support. She's telling you I want child support. So, I mean, I'm just kind of confused, you know?
Mr. Kristen, is there any family violence between you and Ms. Hinahosa?
No, never.
Does Ms. Hinahosa know where you live?
Yes.
No. If you were to move from your current, do you have any safety concerns being required to tell Ms. Hinahosa where you moved to?
No.
Do you have any safety concerns with a third party having access to your contact information if it's listed in today's court order?
Not at all.
Okay. Pass the witness, Your Honor.
Do you have any further witnesses? Oh, sir, do you have any objection to her address not being in the order, but her being required to still tell you her address and phone number and where she works?
No.
Okay, because there's somebody else who has done something. Okay, thank
No,
you.
that's fine.
Okay, the state doesn't represent either of you, so I'm going to give you both a chance to let me know if there's anything else you think I need to hear about any of these issues. Ms. Hinahosa, is there anything else you'd like to say?
No.
Okay. Mr. Kristen, is there anything else you'd like to say?
No, ma'am. That'll be it.
Okay, hold on tight a moment. Ms. Hinahosa, do you know about his 3 other children?
Yes, I do.
So you know that 2 of them do live with him.
Yes.
What do you know about the 3rd child?
He lives with the mom's ex-husband.
Does Mr. Kristen have any relationship with that 3rd child?
He tries, but the stepdad doesn't let him see him.
Do you know if he sends money to that 3rd child?
I know he's tried to, but the stepdad won't like accept anything from Derek.
When was the last time you know of this?
Christmas is when he told me that he was trying to send stuff, money and gifts to Jace, and he couldn't.
Mr. Kristen, do you provide for that 3rd child?
No, I don't. I try. I try to give the mom money, and she won't take nothing from me. I try to make it fair on Braden. Of course, I'm gonna make it fair on all my kids, and because I'm that dad. I'm not a deadbeat dad. I've always taken care of my kids, but she just won't take nothing from me. And then of course, I mean, I try to get him on my days off so he can spend time with his brothers and sisters, which is his two brothers, or his brother and sister that live with me, which is my kids, my other 2 kids. I try to get him to where they can spend time together on my days off, but he's so used to his stepdad, he don't like being around. And then when me and Marie were together, she helped me raise the 2 kids that are staying with me since her little. So Marie was in the picture whenever my kids were like 3 or 4 years. I think they were like 7 or 8, maybe younger. So they considered Marie as their mom, of course, because I mean their mom wasn't in the picture. Whenever me and their mom split up, she just got up and left to California. She had just left, didn't say nothing. So of course I stayed stuck with the kids, raising my 2 kids. And this whenever me and Marie got together, and then she helped me. She was in the picture since we split up 4 years ago.
And so what county do you live in?
Lamb County.
Where's that?
Littlefield, Texas.
Panhandle, Judge, Plains.
It's Lamb County, yeah, somewhere over there.
Okay, I'm going to order a temporary order. I'm going to approve part of the agreement. So I'll approve that Ms. Hinahosa is the managing conservator and Mr. Kristen is the possessory conservator. I am going to order a geographic restriction to the state of Texas. This is a temporary order, so I am going to order the standard possession order for over 100 miles. If something bad happens, sir, I'm going to hear about it on final trial, and we'll consider that in the final ruling on visitation. It's hard to balance children. It's hard, I get that. Everyone has feelings on who's being treated better than the other one. And I know a lot of it's in children's heads, but just be mindful that that's an issue going on in your household. And so I'm going to order the standard possession order. So I'm ordering medical and dental support through Mr. Kristen's job. So if you can look into further whether or not that costs you anything, that would be helpful to make sure you're getting proper credit for that.
Is there any way you can send me I don't know who I'd have to send it to, but if they can send some kind of information to send it to. I know you were giving me earlier. She was giving me the email earlier, but she was giving it way too fast.
Okay, she'll give you after I make my ruling, which I need to finish making.
Okay.
You're gonna all get to go back to your breakout rooms where you'll get a copy of this to review, and you can ask them questions such as that about where to send information to.